Victoria's top bureaucrat told the state's chief commissioner he'd be out of a job after losing the confidence of a majority of 14,000 police members. The move is being described as akin to breaking up over text, as the Premier and Police Minister refused to say if they spoke with Shane Patton. Victorian political reporter Simon Love joins us. So, Simon, the government says they had to act, but how they justified the way this has played out?
Well, they've justified it purely through the no confidence motion that was moved by the Police Association of Victoria. It was voted on by about 14,000 police protective services officers, returned an 87% result. Now, that returned at 4:30 on Friday afternoon. Now, it is my understanding, after speaking with several sources, that it was around about 5 o'clock after Shane Patton came off air from a radio interview with ABC Radio Melbourne that he was delivered the news that he would not be given another contract as the state's chief commissioner, despite assurances from senior government bureaucrats that he would. Now, it is my understanding, I have confirmed, this was first reported by The Age, but I have independently confirmed the person that delivered this news was Jeremy Mule, the Victorian Department of Premier and Cabinet Secretary and the state's chief public servant. So that news was delivered at 5 o'clock. Shane Patton then cancelled a radio interview that was scheduled with 3AW here in Melbourne. That was scheduled for 5:10. And ultimately, later that night, Anthony Carbines, the police minister, stated that the process for the appointment of a chief commissioner was still underway, walking back statements that he had made, which I'll get to in a moment. But this morning, the Premier and the police minister refused to say whether they actually got on the phone to Shane Patton over the weekend to either speak with him about this no confidence motion or indeed speak to him about whether another contract would or wouldn't be renewed. Here was the Premier.
Almost stuck for words. I cannot believe a government would be so weak as to not ring the Chief Commissioner of this state and have that discussion with me. Actually makes me angry. This man has dedicated his life to this. Whether we agree with what's happened or not, you have to give him the respect to call him. If the Minister and Premier have not called him, then that in itself is an absolute disgrace of this government. This is like breaking up over text. That is just appalling and should never happen.
So that was actually Brad Battin, the opposition leader, responding to the revelation that it was Jeremy Mule that delivered this news. Here was the Premier when asked whether she or the police minister had communication with Shane Patton.
The overwhelming vote of police members that came through on Friday demonstrated to me two things. One, it was an outcome that simply could not be ignored. And secondly, it sent a very clear message that police members were looking for a fresh start.
Amid the youth crime crisis in Victoria and also growing concern over anti-Semitism, a fortnight is certainly a long time in state politics. Here was Anthony Carbines at the back doors of Victorian Parliament on February 5 and his view on Shane Patton today.
He's just among the best across the country when it comes to operational policing. Matters about his reappointment when obviously his term concludes in the middle of the year.
It's very sad and very disappointing, but we have to deal with the realities and the facts. The Chief Commissioner of Victoria Police has had an overwhelming and unprecedented vote of no confidence issued by the rank and file membership. I absolutely take responsibility for community safety. That is my role, and I work very hard with the Victoria Police and everyone at Victoria Police to deliver on our community safety initiative.
Rick Nugent, the state's Emergency Management Commissioner, will be sworn in back to Victoria Police and become the acting Chief Commissioner later this week. I'm told that could be as early as tomorrow. In the meantime, Wendy Steendam, a Deputy Commissioner, has been acting today as the Chief Commissioner. It does leave the state's major emergency management agency without a leader at an important time when it is still essentially bushfire season here in Victoria. So we're waiting for clarity out of the government as to who will take that role, potentially on an acting basis. So a startling position here where you've got two essential roles at the top of the justice and community safety framework in Victoria in acting positions, and a scenario where Shane Patton may be paid out of his role through till the end of June, and another Chief Commissioner will be paid at the same time. So certainly a mess at the top of the Victoria Police Command, but also the government certainly come under fire for its handling of this situation too.
Simon, thank you.